सबैलाई नमस्कार म राकेश र TyataEssenceको अर्को भिडियोमा हजुरलाई स्वागत छ। Hi everyone, I'm Rakesh. Welcome to another video of TyataEssence. For better career and life, most people learn how to build discipline. They wake up early, stay focused, and chase the goals with determination. But somewhere along the way, they realize that discipline itself is not sufficient. While discipline builds the foundation, it's the connection that builds the bridge, and it's the influence that determines where the bridge leads. Learning how to stay consistent, connect genuinely, and influence consciously is the ultimate advantage that you can build for your future. When you combine steady discipline, authentic relationship, and ethical influence, you not only build your career, but also build a life that inspires others to rise with you. In this video, I'll break down the key insights and share practical tips behind the 3 pillars of successful career. First, staying proactive through discipline. Second, staying connected through influence. And third, learning how to influence others.
Imagine it's a quiet morning, 6 a.m. in the year 2026. The city is still half asleep. An alarm buzzes, and Maya, a 27-year-old marketing analyst, opens her eyes. Body whispers, 5 more minutes, but a stronger voice in her mind says, remember why you started. She gets up. That small, ordinary moment choosing discipline over comfort is where everything begins. You see, Maya wasn't born extraordinary. She wasn't the smartest student in college or the loudest voice in meetings. What set her apart was her unwavering consistency. While others were waiting for a magical burst of motivation, Maya was busy building a routine that made motivation irrelevant. Every day looked almost the same. Wake up early, get her body moving, read for 20 minutes, and review her goals? Sounds a bit boring, right? But just like compound interest, these small, daily deposits of effort were quietly building massive returns over time. Routine is like gravity, keeps your ambitions from drifting away into space. Maya quickly realized that if she didn't design her day, the world would happily design it for her, filled with distractions and other people's priorities. So she took control. By the middle of 2026, the results started to show. She had more energy, her focus was sharper, and her confidence grew. But this wasn't magic, it was simple math. She traded 1 hour of mindless scrolling and distraction each day for 1 hour of focused progress. Over a year, that adds up to 365 hours. That's basically a full month of work dedicated purely to self-investment. Think about what you could achieve with an extra month every year. Of course, discipline didn't make her immune to failure. In 2027, she applied for a big leadership role she really wanted. The result? Rejected. Her first thought was that crushing feeling we all know. I'm just not good enough. But then, a different thought pushed through. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before a single light bulb worked. That simple shift in perspective changed everything. Instead of taking the failure personally, she started treating it as data. She began to dissect her mistakes with curiosity, not criticism. She identified communication gaps, leadership blind spots, and certifications she was missing. And then, one by one, she worked on correcting them. Failure wasn't a dead end. It became her most valuable, unpaid mentor. There were definitely days Maya wanted to quit. She'd scroll through social media, see friends on beautiful vacations, and wonder, why am I pushing myself so hard? Is this even worth it? In those moments, she had to remind herself of a fundamental truth. Motivation is a mood, but discipline is a decision. Motivation is a fair-weather friend who shows up when things are exciting. But discipline is the one who drives the car when the road gets rough and the weather turns stormy. When motivation inevitably faded, her discipline took over. By 2028, something incredible started to happen. Maya wasn't chasing success anymore. She was attracting it. Her manager noticed her unshakable reliability, her calmness under pressure, and her powerful ability to show up and deliver, even on the bad days. That's the real power of discipline. It doesn't necessarily make life easier, but it absolutely makes you stronger. And as she grew stronger, more capable, and more consistent, people couldn't help but notice. That's how you build a future you're proud of, one disciplined decision at a time. Ever felt like you were doing everything right at work, but still getting left behind? You're a rock star at your job, You hit every deadline, but somehow others are climbing the ladder faster. You're not alone. This was exactly where Maya found herself in 2029. She was brilliant, disciplined, and dedicated. But she soon realized that in an office full of talented people, being good at your job just isn't enough. While she was busy mastering tasks, her colleagues were mastering something else entirely: connection. Maya had the discipline down pat. Now, it was time to learn the art of influence. It all began with a simple piece of advice from her mentor. One afternoon, he told her, "People don't remember what you did. They remember how you made them feel." That single sentence was a revelation for Maya. It completely shifted her perspective. She started paying close attention to the most influential people in her office, studying how they communicated. She noticed a subtle pattern. The most confident leaders would often mirror the body language of the person they were talking to. It wasn't about copying them. It was about creating a sense of comfort and rapport. So Maya decided to try it herself. In her very next meeting, she noticed her manager lean forward while making a point. Instinctively, Maya leaned in slightly too. When he smiled, she offered a warm smile back. It wasn't mimicry. It was empathy in motion. And the result? Conversation felt more natural and flowed more smoothly than any she'd had with him before. This small adjustment was a game changer, opening her eyes to the power of nonverbal cues. Next, she focused on the small things that build warmth. She started using people's names more often in conversation. Simple phrases like, "That's a great point, Alex," or "Thanks for your help, Priya," made her colleagues feel acknowledged and respected. She also upgraded her compliments. Instead of a generic nice presentation, she'd offer something specific and meaningful. Like, "I loved how you broke down that complex data so clearly. It really helped me understand the project better." By complimenting the effort and the specifics, she made people feel genuinely seen and valued. And she didn't stop there. She made a conscious effort to remember the little details about the people around her: a coworker's favorite author, a client's upcoming vacation, her manager's obsession with a particular coffee blend. These seemingly tiny gestures were like building invisible bridges of trust, one small connection at a time. But Maya's biggest transformation came when she mastered the art of active listening. Before, like many of us, she was a half-listener. While someone was talking, her mind would be racing, already formulating her next sentence. She decided to change that. She started practicing silence. She put her own thoughts on hold and focused completely on what the other person was saying. She would then summarize their points to show she understood and validate their feelings. Suddenly, conversations shifted from being purely transactional to truly transformational. People started opening up to her, sharing ideas and concerns they hadn't before. When her colleagues felt truly heard, they responded with a new level of loyalty and support. By 2030, Maya had become magnetic. She wasn't the loudest person in the room or the most extroverted. She wasn't fake. She was simply present. Her smile was genuine. Her posture was confident yet open and approachable. People started seeking her out for advice. Teams clamored to have her on their projects. Even senior managers were mentioning her name in high-level meetings she wasn't even in. She had finally cracked the code. Influence wasn't about manipulation or controlling others. It was about connecting with them on a deeper, more human level. Think about iconic figures like Oprah Winfrey or Steve Jobs. They had vastly different personalities, but they both shared the same core essence: clarity in their message, empathy for their audience, and an undeniable presence. Discipline had built Maya's strong foundation, but it was connection that gave her wings. However, as her influence grew, she began to notice a darker side to it, an undercurrent running through every organization. She realized that not all influence is positive. To truly protect her career and continue to grow, she needed to understand both sides of this powerful force. What Maya learned is a lesson for all of us. Technical skills will get you in the door, but your ability to connect with others is what will truly define your journey. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more insights. Ever felt like someone was trying to pull your strings? Or maybe you're in a new leadership role like I was, and you're wondering how to guide your team without being manipulative? Let's talk about the art of ethical influence, because it's a skill that can either build people up or tear them down. Back in 2030, I got my first big promotion to team lead. Suddenly, I had power, and with it came a heavy responsibility to lead people the right way. But to do that, I first had to understand what the wrong way looked like. It started with recognizing the shady tactics. Have you ever had a boss say, "I never told you that," when you both know they did? That's called gaslighting. It's a classic manipulation tactic designed to make you doubt your own sanity. I remember a manager who did that all the time, and it created a culture of confusion and distrust. I swore I would never be that kind of leader. So, the first thing I did with my new team was establish crystal clear communication. We kept shared logs of key decisions and tasks. It wasn't about micromanaging. It was about creating a single source of truth so no one could ever twist reality. It built trust and made everyone feel secure. Next, I had to confront the ghosts of marketing psychologists, specifically scarcity and fear. You've seen it everywhere. Only 3 left in stock, or last chance to buy. This creates a false sense of urgency that pressures you into making a decision. It's effective, but it's dishonest. I wanted to inspire my team, not scare them. So I flipped the script. Instead of manufacturing urgency, I focused on highlighting the genuine value and the real positive impact of our projects. When you show people the why behind their work and how it contributes to something bigger, that passion becomes a much more powerful motivator than any ticking clock. The goal is to inspire a decision, not force one. Then came the principle of reciprocity. The "you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours" idea. But the unethical version is when someone does you a small favor, then asks for a much bigger one, making you feel obligated. I decided to practice genuine reciprocity. I offered help, shared constructive feedback, and gave recognition freely, with absolutely no strings attached. The funny thing is, the more I gave, the more people wanted to help me in return. It turns out that authentic generosity is contagious. When people feel seen and supported, they naturally want to contribute to that positive environment. It builds a powerful, unspoken bond of trust and mutual respect. One of the most powerful tools I discovered was the foot and no door technique. The manipulative version is getting someone to agree to a small, easy request, only to follow up with a much larger one they now feel committed to. But what if we use this for good? I started by asking my teammates to take on tiny leadership. Roles may be leading a 5-minute check-in or mentoring a new hire on a small task. These were low-ish opportunities. Once they succeeded, their confidence grew, and they were naturally ready for bigger challenges. I learned that you don't create leaders by giving orders. You create them by giving ownership. Empower them one small step at a time until they're running alongside you. Ultimately, learning about these psychological triggers was like gaining a superpower. The more I understood the mechanics of influence, the freer I became. I could spot a manipulative tactic from a mile away and protect my team from it. More importantly, I could use these same principles for good, to inspire, to mentor, and to motivate people to become the best versions of themselves. Influence is like fire. It can be used to destroy and cause harm, or it can be used to provide warmth and light the way forward. The difference isn't the tool itself, but the intention behind it. So whether you're leading a team, parenting a child, or just navigating your daily life, ask yourself, are you using your influence to brighten someone's path? Imagine this. By the year 2031, Maya stands on a brightly lit stage, and as she reflects on her journey, a smile touches her lips. She remembers the quiet early mornings, the sound of her 6 a.m. alarm clock signaling the start of another day of focused work. She thinks about the challenges, the late nights, and the incredible team she now leads. Then she leans into the microphone and says something that makes the entire auditorium fall silent. "Discipline builds your foundation," she begins, her voice clear and steady. "Connection builds your bridge. Influence determines where that bridge leads." She lets those words hang in the air for a moment, allowing everyone to absorb their weight. Think about that for a second. Your foundation, your bridge, and your destination. It's a powerful framework for success. Maya continues, "If you stay proactive through discipline, you'll always have direction." It's so true, isn't it? When you're disciplined, you're not just reacting to life, you're actively shaping it. You set the alarm, you make the plan, you do the work even when you don't feel like it. That consistency creates momentum. It gives you a clear path forward, a sense of control over your own destiny. You're no longer a ship drifting at sea. You're the captain, steering with purpose. Discipline is your internal compass, always pointing you toward your goals. Next, she adds, if you stay connected through genuine relationships, you'll always have support. This is the part so many people overlook. We get so focused on our own grind that we forget to look up and connect with the people around us. But success isn't a solo mission. Your connections, your friends, mentors, colleagues, they are the support beams of your bridge. They're the ones who offer a hand when you stumble, celebrate your wins, provide different perspectives that help you grow. Genuine connection isn't just networking. It's about building authentic relationships based on trust and mutual respect. And finally, Maya delivers the third key. If you learn how to influence others ethically, you'll always have impact. This is where it all comes together. Influence isn't about manipulation or having power over people. It's about inspiring them. It's about communicating your vision so clearly and passionately that others want to join you on your journey. When you lead with integrity, you don't just achieve your own goals. You empower everyone around you to reach their full potential. Your influence determines the legacy you leave behind. It's the difference between building a career and building a movement. Maya then reminded the audience of a hard truth. Nobody will hand you stability. Nobody will care about your dreams as much as you do. This is your journey. You have to be your own biggest advocate, your own loudest cheerleader. But when you combine these three elements, consistent discipline, authentic relationships, and conscious, ethical influence, something magical happens. You don't just build a career, you build a life. A life that has meaning, purpose, and inspires others to rise up alongside you. The world we live in is fast-paced, competitive, and often unpredictable. But those who stay proactive and disciplined will always be able to adapt. Those who stay connected and build strong relationships will endure any storm. And those who learn to influence with integrity will not just follow, they will lead. So as you go about your own journey, remember Maya's story. Remember that every single choice matters. Every alarm you choose not to snooze. Every person you take the time to truly listen to. Every moment you use your skills and your voice with integrity, it's all a step. It's one small step toward building a better, stronger, and more significant you. So I leave you with this question. What foundation are you building? What bridges are you creating? And where do you want them to lead? May your career be not just successful, but truly significant. Thanks so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you build a life of purpose. See you in the next video.